Big takeaway, All-Star Weekend. Some of the moments that are going to stay with you.
I always measure it by how the fans are reacting during the skills competition, first and foremost. It was packed, obviously, but they stayed in their seats. They enjoyed it. Right up to the final event, the Shooting Stars event, where some of the players came basically into the crowd and started doing some trick shots. But I was impressed with how much attention people were paying to the skills event. So I think that they came away from that enjoying it. I'm not 100% sure how that translated to television, but I know the people in the building had a great time. And anytime you've got the fastest skaters going at it, that's always intriguing to see who ends up winning that. It was impressive to watch the speed of the players, and the hardest shot is always one that's
Would you have liked to have gone into the stands to take a shot next to
Yeah, that
it?
looked pretty cool. Like, it looked like it'd be kind of fun to do it. And I don't think it mattered just how good of a player you were either. You might have a specialty that you could do as far as firing the puck. So it was an interesting idea, and I think there's more to come in that regard.
I mean, it's a skill that you never really lose, but it was interesting to watch a guy like Brett Hull, one of the best shooters of all time, and he could barely shoot muffins out of the stands when he had his opportunity. But I just thought being there in St. Louis, having the former Blues players participate, I always like seeing the old school alumni, Bernie Federico, Al McInnes shooting 100 miles an hour, Brett Hull. That stuff there got me excited. And I also enjoyed seeing a guy like Patrick Kane, who didn't have to be there. He could have stayed at home. Chicago's on the outside. He could have said, you know what, I'm getting a little bit more rest. I'm going to rest up for the second half. He decided to show up. He was booed, but he played it great. Tremendous to the crowd. And also Austin Matthews, too. He didn't participate. He was hurt, but he still showed up. And I think that's
to me, you need guys like Patrick Kane. Like, I think of the All-Star game, and his skill set immediately comes to mind. That's where it translates. You want to see that. You want to be dazzled.
And he wants to show you it, too. Like, he doesn't shy away from the realization that everyone is there, that are superstars in the league, and let's take it back a notch. No, he goes up another level and has fun doing it. So you can see the passion that he has for the game, but you can also see the incredible skills that he has on full display. And I always appreciate that about certain players like Patrick Kane that don't shy away from the spotlight. They love it, and they do their best to promote the game that they love playing. And Patrick Kane deserves a lot of credit for the way he's acting the whole time.
Absolutely. I mean, he's matured right before our eyes. Like, you go back to even the World Championships when he shows up for Team USA, wears the C, leads that young group. And then now in the All-Star game, he's an ambassador for the sport. You can't help. He's got 3 Stanley Cups. He's played so well over the last 10 years, all-decade team, and he's still showing up, putting his face out there, and doing it with a smile, too, Liam.
Doesn't it make you feel old, though, that now that there are young guys at this All-Star experience saying, yeah, when I was growing up, I looked up to Patrick Kane, right?
It's pretty scary.
He was the guy I was idolizing. You're like, God, it's just cringeworthy. It makes you feel very old. I thought it was a great showcase for St. Louis. I mean, this is a fantastic hockey town, and I think kind of a hidden gem in terms of hockey towns. We saw this a few years ago, 2016 draft, 5 players from that St. Louis area get drafted. And also with the Tkachuks, a homecoming, to have both Tkachuk boys back there where they grew up watching the sport and learning the sport and then playing in an all-star situation. I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was a nice touch because the Blues players obviously were embraced by their fans. They're coming off the Stanley Cup Championship, so hockey's at an all-time high in St. Louis, and the fans showed their appreciation not just for the players but for the head coach, Craig Berube, who was there coaching the team as well. Layla Anderson put on a great show. She is an incredible kid.
Best.
The announcing of the players was unbelievably entertaining, and just to see how they all reacted, giving her a big high or a fist pump, big hug or a big fist pump, was awesome to watch. So I thought the Blues players did a great job in embracing it, and that was awesome. But the fans really showed their love for them. And then when they were knocked out, the Tkachuk brothers were still going at it, both Matthew and Brady playing against each other in the final. And Matthew Tkachuk put on a show in this, in the 3-on-3. He was an incredibly effective player during that. And then Keith Tkachuk was there. That's part of the Shooting Stars event that he came out to, and Brady was there as well. Hard to believe he's the younger brother. Look at the size of that beast. It's amazing. But they all seem to have a smile on their face the entire time. And there you can see the 2 brothers coming together at center ice.
Well, that about Matthew, I thought Tkachuk, it's interesting because he makes the news so often for getting under players' skin. But there's all-star skill there. And you got a chance to really see it up close and personal without any of the other stuff.
Like, you forget about it. Some players like Matthew Tkachuk or even Marchand, same exact thing. You forget how skillful these players are. But for me, when it comes to the Tkachuk family, I really hope they remember this moment, because I don't want to hear in 5 or 6 years when Brady's this big star that he's taking the All-Star weekend off. You know, he was in the Bahamas. He decided to put that to rest, which I loved.
Yep.
He packed his bags, came to St. Louis, celebrated with his brother Matthew, because realistically, he might not have been an All-Star. Like, he's one of Ottawa's best players, could be a future captain there, but there's other players I thought that could have been a replacement ahead of Brady Tkachuk, but I understand the storyline. I understand St. Louis. I understand the brothers coming together. I just hope they repay that same favor in 5 years. We're not talking about Brady Tkachuk taking time off. He's going to remember this and say, you know what, All-Star is a big moment for my family. It was in St. Louis. Now let's make sure we pay this forward.
It's a great point. And I think the league does a really good job in replacing some players that may not want to be there for whatever reason by putting players there that fit the storyline. Obviously, local guys do. An extra couple of St. Louis Blues players that obviously there's other star players in the league that may have played there ahead of them at the All-Star game, but it keeps that local flair. And I think that's really important at the All-Star game. It'll be interesting to see what happens next year when it's down in South Florida. And I think there'll be probably a few more players that are going to be willing to go down there and enjoy the warm weather.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's a bit of a vacation alongside that, and potentially some talk of an international flair there, bringing that back to the equation within the All-Star competition.